So we're going to pick up where we left off, talking about making sure that we send home progress as often as it's reported in the general education setting. And we're going to move on to section 7. When you're talking about specially designed instruction, we're going to look at a resource that has some great information. You need to make sure that for every goal that you write, and again, you're going to have a goal for every area of eligibility, make sure you address all those areas. You'll need goals and benchmarks that specifically target those, and the specially designed instruction must match every goal. So if you've got specially designed instruction in language arts and both reading and writing, because that's the student's area of eligibility, then that might be goals 1 and 2. And then if the student also qualifies as having ADHD, and so they qualify under other health impairment, and so you've got some specific specially designed instruction in that area, then that might be goal 3, and so you would have another section of specially designed instruction. You'll want to make sure you include all the related services and assistive technology, any accommodations or modifications that the student might require, as well as supports for school personnel. If you have some specific questions about any of those sections and want clarification, please ask in your in-class assignment. That will be an out-of-class assignment, and I will happily answer those. Make sure that you fill in each area of the IEP, answering yes or no, and that you consider those general factors and the least restrictive environment so that the student is receiving instruction in that least restrictive environment at all times, and that you've addressed statewide and district testing. All right, so that covers the IEP. Now I'm going to head to the Kentucky IEP and Lesson Plan Handbook that I've updated for you. Note that in the table of contents, it walks through, first of all, research-based practices and instruction. So know that sections I through J are great strategies for teaching students in the classroom. And that in sections K and L, you'll notice that it specifically addresses those supplementary aids and services. That's the accommodations that students receive in specially designed instruction. And when we go down to those sections, gonna flow right here. And the nice thing about this handbook that I love is it's got the specially designed instruction. This is what the teacher does, and then supplementary aids and services, what the student needs to make progress. So those accommodations and supports that the student needs, and both of those need to be addressed in the IEP. But sometimes we kind of get stuck in, I've got a reading fluency goal, so I'm going to use the same specially designed instruction every time. So I love being able to use this resource. It starts with speech resources, and then as you scroll down past the speech ideas, then we head into pragmatics and then general academics. So starting with basic reading. So if I've got a student that definitely needs some visual and auditory supports or visual strategies, if they need instruction in identifying or pronouncing words, I just like to run through this list and make sure that I've included and am using in my instruction every single resource a student might need, and that I'm giving them the accommodations and or modifications that they need to make progress in the curriculum. So it's just a handy resource to keep on file, and I hope that you will find some good resources based on the students that you have. After the academic skills, it also goes into some skills for students that have a functional needs and adaptive needs, including on-task behavior, including following directions. So those, a lot of times, people get stuck, and it's got some great ideas for you to use. So that resource is included. And then we're going to, head to the YouTube page if you haven't. Hopefully you've already accessed that because you're watching the first video. I'm going to head over here to the Ohio Department of Education. I think that both the Kentucky Department of Education and the Ohio Department of Education did a great job of pulling together some excellent resources to support us when we're working with students with disabilities. So I'd recommend spending some time kind of clicking through, if you haven't done that recently, just to see, wow, there's some really good resources here I can use. Yeah, I need to learn more about testing accommodations, or I definitely need to know more about the positive behavior interventions and supports, PBIS. Yeah, I've got parents that need some great resources. I don't feel like I'm quite up to date on what I need to do for students who have a specific area of deficit, which that link, oops, sorry, just lost where I found that link 5 seconds ago. Oh, there it is, the disability specific resources. If I've got a student that has a visual impairment and I'm just not sure what resources are out there, the ODE has already pulled those aside for you. I linked you also to the Kentucky Department of Education to link you to a contiguous state, just because in addition to having that lesson plan handbook, this is the one that I shared with you just a second ago, there's also a guidance document for developing IEPs. And while the IEPs in Kentucky are kind of put together in a little bit different order, the information and the guiding questions are still incredibly helpful when you're thinking through, did I include all the information I need to include in my IEP? One of the resources that are linked through ODE is to the Ocala website. If you ever have the opportunity to go to Ocala's conference called OcalaCon, I'd highly recommend it. It's a fantastic conference. They also have some great modules. You'll notice there's a huge section on universal design for learning, some great assistive tech resources. If you're working with students with significant disabilities, there's some great resources here. They also have a fantastic lending library. For the modules that they have within Ocala, you do need to sign up for these autism modules and the AT modules. You need to sign up for a free account, but it's free and it's super helpful. I've gone through modules in both sections, the autism and assistive tech, and they were great modules. I'd highly recommend doing some of those when you have time. If we're looking for general resources to support families, Wright's Law has some great resources and information that kind of help walk parents in a simple, clear format through what IEPs are and what their rights are as present as parents. So if you haven't checked out or shared Wright's Law resources with families, I would recommend it. So I hope this has been helpful and kind of expanded your knowledge on writing IEPs and the supports that are available both from our states and from some various resources throughout. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Sorry, we're having to meet in an alternate format, and I appreciate your flexibility. You've got my phone number and my email, so contact me anytime that you need. We'll for sure see each other on the 23rd, but I'm happy to chat in between then. And if you're going to the National CEC Convention next week, on Wednesday through the end of the week, I will be there also presenting and hope to see you there. Send me an email, let me know, and maybe we can get coffee. Talk to you later.